So, the infrastructure industry. It's basically made up of 4 sectors. They would be the civil or the roading side of things. Electricity, so that's electricity generation, supply and retail. What we term as telco or telecommunications. So that's all our UFB stuff that's going down underground and up and through the rural communities. And the last one is the water industry or utilities. But better to explain how we fit into all of those pictures, I've got a bit of an activity that you'll be able to go through that'll explain how it all works. So, Whitu from Nuhaka, he's gone to bed, he wakes up in the morning. We're just going to go through one day in the life of Whitu. So the first thing Whitu does when he gets up in the morning is what? Whitu wakes up, it's still dark. Turn the light on. So, how that power got to, I did have a light bulb, but that's gone somewhere. Someone needed a light bulb, I suppose. But how that power got to the house. So it had to be generated, and there's a couple of forms we can generate power. What's one? Water. The other one? Wind power. So we've got wind generation happening all over the place at the moment. And there's probably a couple of others, but those are the 2 main ones throughout the country. So Whitu's got up, he's turned the light on. What's next? Oh, mate, you might have used it all. No. What'd you do with my toilet roll? No. I had a toilet roll, but I spilled my drink and we had to use it. All right, so he's off to the wharipaku. But when he does that, that has to go somewhere. And so within the industry, we have people that look after utilities. One is wastewater. There are 2 other types of water that run through your house. Waste. Yeah, that's sewer. Sewage is wastewater. No, water. 3 types of water. Wastewater, drinking water, and rainwater, commonly known as stormwater. All right, so those are the 3 types of water that we have. And to do those 3 types of water, we've got to have people qualified for each of those. Because you can't, and you're not allowed to, switch from wastewater to drinking water for obvious reasons. All right, you've got to get completely changed.
You can't change between the 3 of them. You have to be specialised in each of those.
Yeah, you do. But grey water or sewer and storm water go together. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so he's been to the wharipaku. Yeah, in the army we said, shall shave. He's done all that. The next thing he does, he gets changed, and then what's next?
Put on the kettle. Breakfast.
Put on the kettle. So how does that relate to the infrastructure industry? Believe it or not, we look after the rural contractors. So the rural contractors who do all the harvesting of grain, you'll see them going along parks and reserves, and you'll also see them spraying roadsides with chemicals. We look after all those people to be qualified in that. Cool? Yeah, so they're not just farmers. Okay, so here's a feed. Yeah, here's a feed. If he's from Aotearoa, it's probably unregistered, unwarranted. But in normal context, he'll jump in his car and he'll go down the driveway. What does he enter from the driveway? Okay, but the road hasn't been built yet. All right, so the first people that go out there and decide on take measurements and what we're going to do with the road are who?
Surveyors.
Good, surveyors. So the surveyors will go out there. We look after both the survey assistant and the diploma in surveying. All our consultants like Opus International and all those sorts of guys, or just straight surveying companies, will go out and they'll go map the road out. They'll then take those measurements, should have stayed at school, and they give all those to somebody so that they can plan it out on a map. Who would those people be? Engineers. So we have our own civil engineers and civil technicians, and they sit inside companies like Opus International, and they'll draw up the maps and everything for those contracts. Cool? All right, so people are getting qualified, they're working away. The engineers come up with a plan, they've mapped it all out, it's gone to council, and the council decides, right, we're going to put it out for tender. So they tender it out, and we rely on who? The Smurfs?
Builders.
Manpower, workforce.
Contractors.
Contractors.
We rely on all our contractors to put a tender in to do that job. All right? But before they can do that, they've got to come up with attributes. And the attributes are, we've got to have qualified people in certain areas in order to do that job. One of those areas are represented by this. Who would they be?
Conservation,
No.
resource management,
What is that?
trees, araka,
Agriculture.
nature.
Good answer. No. Plant operators. So we've got to have plant operators that are able to operate the gear in order to shift dirt. Yeah, it's a plant. And our plant operators are qualified to level 3, soon to be level 4.
Should have stayed at school myself.
Okay, so our plant operators are out there, they're building the road, they've shaped it. We then get another crew out. Some of these guys drive green trucks, they're called Higgins. Downers, Fulton have these crews as well. So those crews specialise in chip sealing. All right. We then rely on who?
Road markers.
Good. The road markers. And it is that 2-inch strip of paint that stops collisions. All right, so it is special paint. These guys, highly busy during the summer, and some of the companies who just specialise in road marking will switch to housing. So they'll paint houses during the winter. Yeah.
White.
Yeah. White, yeah, whatever's left over. Okay, so we've got our road marked, we've got it all there, all the furniture's gone up, so that's all our signage as well. Another area that we have to look at, particularly that runs up and down the road, is good, drainage. It's all our utilities actually that are represented by these pipes. So running through this is grey water or wastewater, stormwater and drinking water. But also now, under our directional drilling, you have telecom lines, power lines and everything else that's sunk in underneath the road. All right? So don't dig your own holes. All right, we're nearly there. Lastly, we've got to consider
Environment.
our weekends. No, the environment. Yep, because the environment is a big aspect of the industry now. If we have a look at Transmission Gully that's gone on down in Wellington, they've diverted and stopped a complete river. They've diverted it, removed all the fish out of there, put it into tanks. Don't worry, it's not running around Porirua restaurants. They've built a artificial river, and all those fish will go back into it again. So we've got to, particularly now, look after our environment. Ka pai? And all of that was
For the
so...
environment, do you consult the iwi as well?
Yes, yes. That was so Whitu could get to work. But before we could get to work, there was no building there. All that happens is we go back to step one. All right, we grab our plant operators, they do the foundations, and away we go. Ka pai? So that's the industry. So if I was to test your ability to relate one of the trades, if I was to lift this up, they would represent the road markers. Good. This? The drainage goes, I'm finished. My work is done here. So that is our industry. So welcome to the infrastructure industry. as far as an ITO goes, our job is to represent the companies and design qualifications that they ask us to design that meet best practice. So that's all we do. They come in, we pull them in from all over the country, we consult, we say, what do you want as a national qualification? What do you want in it? What do you want them qualified in? Is there any special training that they need to do? And we put that together, get it approved by NZQA, and it becomes a New Zealand certificate at whatever level. Ka pai? And that's the ITO's job. So that was setting the scene to bring a lot of people in, mainly Māori Pacifica, and making sure that we deliver the way that they learn. Because if they can't learn the way we teach, we should teach the way they learn. That's common, eh? I'm going to quickly go through in 30 seconds the program that we're up to now, and that is bringing the workforce in. So, company will ring me, they'll say, hey, we won a contract, I need 10 people yesterday. I then go around and I visit everybody. Mainly, I start on the company first and see who's there sitting on a couch at home. Otherwise, we go to MSD and any Pacifica churches and find people. I then do a presentation on the industry. I bring the whānau in as well because it's important they're part of the program, mainly because I'm going to steal this person away for 11 days. The company will get up and present about the company, they'll get into the job specifics, and then there's an application process for those who are still interested in the job. I then arrange the interviews for at least 7 days or under from the time that we do that presentation. I mentioned to them there'll be drug screen tests before the interview. That gets half the room cleared. We also do the PPE or protective equipment sizing for everybody prior to going to an interview, so that as soon as they're accepted into the company, I can then order their gear so that when they arrive to wherever they're going, their dress for the next 11 days is ready, which is normally beautiful orange clothing. So, for Transmission Gully, I rocked into Porirua on a Sunday afternoon, said, get on the van, we're off to Waiuru. With the families, I say to the families, this is your opportunity to work out what you have to adjust at home while this person's away. Because when I bring them back, they're gone at 6:30 in the morning, they don't get home till 7 at night. Funny enough, that's the hours of the program once they hit Waiuru. So they're up at 5:30, breakfast is at 6:30, first lesson down the range at 7:30. They don't get to dinner till 7 o'clock at night, and that just prepares the body for those hours. It's made up of life skills, building the team, not team building, compliance training, first aid, construct safe, whatever else, and the technical training for the job. I'll just power through these. There's the initial bunch that have just gone through, 7 Pacifica, 2 Māori. 8 from Porirua, 1, I don't know how he got on the bus, but he got there. They were all still there. We have a 100% success rate over 13 programs that we've run. We've also run it off marae, and I'd rather do the marae, to be honest, because the first 2 days is cooking, health and nutrition, and then from there it's self-catering, so we put them into those teams. And we eat out of chili bins for lunch, because that's what the industry does. And I think many people have said it today, it's just about empowerment. They can do the job, they just don't know it. Yeah.